It looks like a dragon got sliced in half and they like the geneticists like made a horrible mistake. Hello beautiful people, I'm David and now we're going to look at some of the Gen 8 Pokemon from Sword and Shield. There are a lot of new Pokemon and I think I would be doing myself a little bit of a service because I skipped Alola to actually look at Gen 8 for what Gen 8 is and know exactly which ones were from that. Because I remember when playing the game, I couldn't tell which ones came from Alola and like Sun and Moon and then which ones came from this generation. But I've beaten the game, and so I got to see a lot of them, but I'm sure there's some that I still haven't seen, even though I'm like way past the post game, but I'm still like powing around and playing the game and having fun with it. And I'm on a Pokemon kick, so why don't we just get right into this, huh? The first one is Grookey. I like his design. I mean, like, I'll say this right up front. I wasn't really a fan of the starters in general for this generation. I ended up having a favorite, but they just felt kind of not uninspired, they just didn't wow me, I guess, this time around, for whatever reason. I like Grookey's design, I appreciate it, I like how he's kind of got this theme as he evolves. When he gets, oh god, can I talk today? When he becomes Thwacky, he gets 2 sticks instead of the one he starts with. Middle evolutions are always awkward because they're like that teenage phase for a Pokemon's life, but he's pretty cool looking, I like his little hair thing. It goes on to Rillaboom, and he gets like a full freaking drum set. He's still got his stick, but I kind of like him. He's got like a very sage look about him, but there's like kind of this underlying rock music theme for some of these Pokemon, like Toxtricity and Rillaboom, and they have that band of Pokemon that plays during the credits. Like that's a fun like world building thing. Like it's kind of cool to have more sound based Pokemon. Like Loudred was probably like the first one, but then you got stuff like this. Scorbunny was actually the Pokemon I started with when I first played this game, and I ended up restarting it shortly afterwards and I picked Sobble. But I actually really like Scorbunny. He's cool design. I like his little band-aids. Like I was dead set convinced that he was going to become a firefighting, and I was really pleased to know that, you know, even when he becomes Raboot, he doesn't become a fighting type. Like, it was like kind of a breath of fresh air, because we've had a lot of firefighters throughout the generations, especially with the starters. We got Infernape, we got Emboar, we got Blaziken was the first one. I love Blaziken. But Raboot's pretty awesome. Cinderace, or however you would pronounce it. Again, I thought he was going to be firefighting, and I was really pleased to know that he was just straight up fire. I guess he's more like a sports ball Pokemon, even though he looks like he's got that like athletic body, and his signature move is basically soccer. So, for me, Hop had him, so I kind of got to see it evolve throughout the game. Sobble was my guy. Like, I kind of like, again, like his design's okay. It just wasn't like something I was crazy about, but he's cute, and like I realized like I ended up picking him based on after looking at the final evolutions, and that's kind of what made me pick him. He's cute though, I will say that. Drizzile, again, another awkward teenage moment. Like again, like I actually really hate his design because it's just, although it's really on the nose, and I kind of like appreciate Game Freak like making the most properly designed mid-evolution Pokemon by making it like this emo thing. And he even like gets like green a little bit, and he like, cause Sobble's yellow and he becomes green as Drizzile, but then when he becomes Inteleon, he gets yellow again. So you could tell he like worked through some stuff in his life. Inteleon's cool. Like again, I'm not really a fan of all 3 starters, even their fully evolved forms, but of the 3, I think Inteleon's the coolest one. I like his kind of slender look, and he's kind of like a James Bond spy thing going on. Like, I love when he uses Snipe Shot. I think it actually looks really fun. And there's also going to be Gigantamax forms. I think it's freaking hilarious how Inteleon doesn't even get bigger. He just gives himself a goddamn tower and just picks off everything from up high. I think that's just funny to me. But yeah, he's my guy. I named mine Surf and Turf. Squovad! I think it's the Rattata of the game. He's fun. I like his like little cheeks. In the game, when you run into a wild one, he just kind of like laughs maniacally. I like to imagine that's what he does. And then you run into a Greedent who does the same thing. I actually freaking hate these guys. They always mess up my berry exploits. Every time I get a little too greedy with the berry trees, one of these motherfuckers pops out and makes my life hell. Rickety, the Pidgey of the game, or geez, take your pick. We got Pidgeot, Swellow, Unpheasant, Staraptor, like all that. Like this is what Rickety is. I think it's really interesting that he's not normal flying, or even dark flying, because he kind of looks dark, but he's just straight up flying, which really was interesting to me. So I guess like fighting type moves are just straight up not effective. Corvisquire, I love his design. I really like the whole black and blue look to him. And again, he keeps his flying attribute until he becomes Corviknight, which is the local taxi Pokemon of this generation. He gets Steel type and he looks badass. Like, he's just amazing looking. The fact that they made the basic bird like one of the coolest looking Pokemon in the entire generation is really awesome to me. Like, if I had known that there wasn't another flying type that I would have wanted, I'm pretty sure I didn't get one, I probably would have gotten one of these guys. I ended up playing the game and I still had 2 slots left for a new Pokemon just because I wanted to see everything the game had to offer, and by the time I was at the champion, I was like, oh, I guess I never filled those slots, huh? Blipbug, he's kind of cool. I like his little nerd look to him. He's like even got a bow tie. I kind of appreciate this guy because there's this one girl in the games, I think you run into her in the first gym, and she keeps following you to every other gym, and she's a fan of you. But you see her Blipbug, and he actually evolves into a Dottler and beyond, like, as you go throughout, and I think that's really, really cool. I only ran into, like, one Blipbug in the wild, and Dottler, I did catch one of those. He's cool. I kind of like his prism look to it, and a Bug Psychic is always kind of a cool combination. You got Orbeetle, who evolves into... I rarely see these guys, but sometimes they're palling about the wild area, the higher level ones, and so... He's pretty cool. He actually reminds me of Lediba. Whatever happened to that thing? You remember that? Lediba and Ledian? Like, whatever happened to those? I mean, we all know, like, a lot of Pokemon got cut from this game, but that's, like, even before. Like, that's just one you forget about. Nickit! I love her. I love Nickit so much. The one I had was a girl in the game, and I used her to the champion. She's awesome, and for something that's basically a Poochyena, I don't know why I was so taken with it. I think I just like foxes, but I love her little burglar gloves. Mine was Brandy the Bandit. Of course, she evolved into Thievul, and I like this guy. I keep wanting to call this thing a guy because he's got a mustache, you know, and I kind of like his Zorro mask. He's pretty cool. He's like a slick, like, thief, you know. He's like a distinguished criminal, and he still's got the boots on his front paws, which I really like. I love foxes, so that's one that I used all throughout. I will say, he doesn't learn enough special moves, because mine all know physical moves, like Thunderfang and stuff like that, but he's got more special attack. And he learned Nasty Plot, and I made him forget it. Damn it. Gossifleur! I really like this one. I caught it, and I ended up never using it, but I really like her design. She's like a little cute thing. And she's got a lot of colors going on, which I always like in a grass-type Pokemon. Eldegoss, I think that's Milo's first Pokemon. I think, does Gossifleur evolve into Eldegoss? That would make sense to me, so. Eldegoss, he's like a big dandelion. Yeah, and he's Milo's, I think, main Pokemon. At least in the first battle, he's like his Dynamax Pokemon. Wooloo, the local farm animal that I'm sure whenever the anime comes out for Sword and Shield, we're going to see a crap ton of these in the background. It's like a really good world-building Pokemon. I can see them just rolling around. And Dubwool, that's what he evolves into. It's like between Tauros and that thing that you ride in the Kalos region. I forgot its name. But I kind of like Dubwool. He's fun. You know, he doesn't really do much, and the only one that you see consistently is Hops, but, you know, I don't have any complaints about his design. I think he looks really rad. Choodle! This guy, I caught one, and I nicknamed it Rudy, because just look at that face. He's got the teeth and everything, just, you know, Rudy from Shock Zone. And he evolves into Dreadnought, who I think is really cool. Like, I ended up catching one at some point, but Nessa makes this guy look awesome, because she Dynanet maxes him, and he's just like a huge motherfucking snapping turtle that's gonna eat everything. and destroy your face. He's like a kaiju monster. Gamper. I love this guy. If Sonia's got one, he's adorable. And there's this one at the beginning of the game, like after you go to Magnolia's house, and on the way back, there's one that's just like chilling, and you can like he can just walk up to you. Like, it's the most adorable thing ever. I love that he's got like a little shock collar that looks like a bandana, because he's an electric type. Like, it's just really clever to me. Then we got Boltund, which he evolves into. He's between Manetric and this guy. I think I like Manetric more. Oh, and Luxray. Like, I forgot about Luxray. I love Luxray. Boltund, he's got a cool design to him, but again, he's like another Thunder Dog, and we got a lot of those already. But, you know, I appreciate his existence because Yamper's adorable as well. Roly-Coly, Rolly-Colly, whatever he is. I like him. He's like the Geodude of this game. And I didn't realize that, like, I caught one, but I never used it. He evolves into Carkol, who's just probably my favorite thing. He's like got a little Ghastly-esque face on a freaking minecart. And he's a Rock Fire, which is a really cool typing to me. Like, the fact that they've never done that is almost surprising to me, but it's really cool. I mean, I'm sure they've done Rock Fire Pokemon, but I don't know, it just seems like a very unusual typing. Then you got Colossal. Colossal. How would you pronounce that? I've always called him Colossal or Colossal, but I think it's actually Colossal. Colossal. I don't know. There's a question of the day for you. But he's cool. He's like to Galar what Golem is to Kanto. Like, he's pretty cool. He's got like a Rhydon look. How many times can I say pretty cool in this video? Applin, speaking of pretty cool, I freaking love this thing. He's just so funny to me. Like, it's a freaking apple dragon. I want one. I really want one. I don't know where to find them, but I really want one. Flapple. I love his design. This is one of those interesting ones where I actually really like both of the options for, what was his name again? Applin. For both of his, evolutions. I actually love both of them. So if you give him a tart apple, it looks like you get this, and I guess you can only get sweet apples in Shield, but man, I really like Flapple's design, and there's this one Gigantamax Flapple in my game right now, and I look for him every day. I can't catch him to save my life. I might just use my Master Ball, like, at this point, because I freaking love him, and I want him, and I just can't catch him. But there's a freaking wild Dynamax Flapple that runs about my wild area, and I really want him because he's like a Dynamax form Flapple, like, and he looks really fun. He looks like a big melty thing when he dunks his head into the apple. Appleton, so the Shield exclusive. I just love this guy. He's a freaking apple pie. He's like that's all there is. It's cool because, oh, I didn't even realize this. He's like shaped like one too. Like, he's not just a pie, but his body is still shaped like an apple. So that's like the common thing. Because it's cool with Flapple how he just kind of like, the apple hatches. Like, he kind of like eats his way out of it. But in this one, it's like he swallows it at some point. Like, it's interesting to me. And I love apple pie in general, so he strikes a chord with me. Silly Cobra! I love snakes in general. I wish Arbok was in this game. They put Weezing in, but why didn't they put Arbok? The world will never know. But I like Silly Cobra a lot. I love just snakes in general. Sandaconda, he's great. He's like a double barrel shotgun snake. I wonder, I should probably get one because I actually don't know his moves very well. Cramorant. I didn't realize this thing doesn't have a pre-evolution or like, I guess like I wouldn't expect him to have a later evolution. He looks like he evolved from something and he's just a standalone. And I saw someone on YouTube was playing, I think it was Alpharad. He used dive and he just fishes up a Pikachu. Like, that's like a really funny thing. But he's got kind of like a doofy look to him. He kind of reminds me a lot of like a Pelipper clone, so I don't know if I really like his originality so much, but the whole thing with like him fishing out Pokemon with dive, like, that's just really funny to me. Arrokuda! I think, is this the first Barracuda we've ever had? I don't think it is, but He might be, actually, but I like him. I like his design. He reminds me of Caravana. Barraskewda, of course, reminds me of Sharpedo, but I like him. He looks really cool. Like, I love his propeller. Like, he's got that really streamlined, no pun intended, design. And he almost looks like a fossil, like, Pokemon, even though we know he's not, but it's the way his head looks. Like, he's actually really cool. And I think he's another, like, I think he's really fast, so he's, like, another competitively viable one. Toxel! I literally got this from the daycare people, and I named mine Demon Baby and left him in the daycare, and I found out at the end of the game that you don't earn experience when you leave someone in daycare. So this guy's probably got a lot of abandonment issues, and I'm very sorry to that. But he just looks like a big baby. It's just funny to me. And Toxtricity, I caught one of these Dynamax in the wild area. He's also really rad. He's got like 2 colors, I think, and he's the other one along with Rillaboom that you could find like in that band in the game. So, but I like his design a lot. Like, I like these band, like almost punk like Pokemon that we have going on. Sizzlipede. If I wasn't using a Ninetales, I would have used this guy because I actually really love his design. And I like his little mustache too, but he evolves into Centiskorch, and I freaking love that thing. I'm so glad Kabu uses one in the fight against him because you get to see it, and you get to see its Gigantamax form, and I really like this thing. Again, if I wasn't using Ninetales, I would absolutely 100% use this. If I get Shield, I'm probably going to use one instead of Ninetales, because I probably can't even get Ninetales. Clobopus. When I saw this thing, I you know, it's funny, I actually probably could have used this thing on my team, but I was keeping slots open by the time I got to this point in the game. But he's a boxing octopus. I think it's really interesting that he's not a fire type. I love his design, but it's really fascinating to me. He evolves into Grapploct, who I actually found before I found Clobopus. Like, they're found in the similar wild area, but this one's like swimming around. And he's really cool. I actually would have really liked it if he was water fighting. I don't know why he isn't, but I'm sure they did it for a reason. But he's fun. He's got like a luchador look to him. I feel like there'd be an episode about him in like the anime. I feel like he'd like jive well with Primeape for some reason. Sinistea, again, probably another one that I would have used because I ended up not even having a ghost. At least I don't think I did in the game. I like this little guy. I don't know where to find him, but I'm sure, you know, I think I do know where to find him, but I don't know. We'll find out. Again, I'm not like really looking up how to beat this game or like find rare things in the game unless I really want them, but I am like revisiting all the areas in the game and like taking it much more chill, especially now that I'm not recording it. Poltegeist! Again, like, I think I actually have the pot item that I need to evolve this thing. I just need the Pokemon, so he looks really cool. I think it's another one that like reflects the region because again it's based off the UK, so I really like that he's just like a giant fancy teapot. Hatena. I never really cared about this Pokemon and its evolutionary line until after I beat the game because it really just grew on me. Hatterene specifically, but he looks so cute. Hatterene, she's adorable. I like how you get to see like the hat turning into the hair, and she's so freaking tiny, and she doesn't get any bigger, just her hair gets bigger when she becomes Hatterene. And again, like, I never really thought much about this Pokemon, but she's growing on me. Like, I like how she's like a cool like fairy witch sort of thing, and I realized her dress is her hair and her body is still like the same freaking size it was when she was a Hatterene. So yeah, again, like, I just really like her design. Although, looking at it from, like, this far away, she looks like a freaking crayon or something. Like, it's kind of funny. Impidimp! This guy, I thought he was, like, the rarest thing ever because I found him in a freaking mushroom, and, they're all over the place. Like, he just looks like a little dick. There's no other way to describe that. Morgrem, I found this rambunctious, like, high school dropout, naughty kid, teenager, just running around. Like, I think I just saw him sitting on a rock somewhere and I actually caught it. But I mean, I appreciate his design. I like having a dark fairy. I think it's like a cool concept. It reminds me of the imps from Spyro, this guy in particular. Grimmsnarl. I love when Marnie just like unloads his Dynamax form and he's freaking spawn of Satan. Like, that's exactly what this thing, like the Morgrim that I got was, I named him Gremlin, and he looks even more like a gremlin as a Grimmsnarl. Like, this thing is, it's really cool looking. I think I see him in the wild area from time to time. Obstagoon. Oh, I can talk about this. Freaking Galarian, Zigzagoon, and Linoon look amazing, and I love the concept that they're based off English badgers instead of American badgers, which is exactly what Hoenn, Zigzagoon, and Linoon look like. And I just really like that they went the Gene Simmons route with Obstagoon, because it fits with Piers, the Pokemon, the trainer that has him, and he's just got like that whole metal vibe. And they gave him a signature move. Like, I could tell this guy was probably a favorite when in the production team when he was invented or whatever. Berserker, the evolution of Galarian Meowth. I kind of like this guy. He just looks like a brat. Like, he's got like a sinister look to him. I kind of wish he was dark type, but I like the idea that Meowth turned into a steel type just because of the geography and culture was different. It's really interesting. Cursola! There's a Galarian Corsola too. Again, I think I'm going down a list of Galarian forms right now because Corsola is one, Meowth was one, and the next one will be one too, but Cursola looks really fun. I like that it's a ghost. I think Corsola actually has like fun Pokedex entries. I'm not looking at them right now, but I feel like it would be cool because it's like kind of dead, but because it looks like its body has just been left behind as a Corsola, and now he's just floating around in there. But I don't know, I like his design a lot. Sirfetch'd, the evolved form of Galarian Farfetch'd. I just love that they made Farfetch'd like a viable Pokemon after being like tortured in Kanto and Johto. Like, I've always ironically liked Farfetch'd, and so the fact that I could get one of these and make him a badass was awesome. Like, I used Sirfetch'd throughout the whole thing. The fact that he holding a leak, he's got like a crazy critical hit ratio is just really funny to me. And he's like a pretty much a gimmick Pokemon, but I just like I'll just say it, I freaking love this duck. he's wonderful. Mr. Rime! Again, Galarian. Yeah, I'm definitely going down some sort of list here. He's evolved form of Galarian Mr. Mime. I never thought they would ever make Mr. Mime evolve, but I guess they gave him a baby form, so it's not completely out of question. I wonder if there's a baby Galarian Mimian? Is that a thing? Probably. Huh, go figure. Just thought about that. Anywho, this guy, Mr. Rime, the evolution of Mr. Mime. It's crazy because he looks even more like a man, but I like the whole fact that these ice mimes are tap dancers. It's just another fun little thing, because it's totally what a Mr. Mime would do if he could freeze his feet. Like, just think about it. Runegris. Oh, that's gonna be fun. Anywho, I like this guy a lot. He's got a kick-ass design. The way to evolve him is freaking redonkulous, but I'm not even gonna get into that. Just look it up yourself. A Galarian Yamask turns into this. I always kind of dug Cofagrigus. I think looking at him, I like Cofagrigus a little bit more, but this guy's pretty rad too. It kind of shows, again, how the cultural influence can affect how a Pokemon chooses to be in the world, or ends up being in the world. Go figure. Oh, speaking of crazy evolutions, Milcery! I never used one of these. I don't even know where to find one, but I'm sure I'll find one at some point in the game, because I'm sure when I go around looking, I'll be able to focus more. But this guy, I always see him in cafes and stuff, but he evolves into Alcremie, because he's all creamy. And this thing, I think it has like a ton of different colors. She evolves when you think you equip like a food item to Milcery and spin around or something. Fun fact, I didn't even know you could spin around and do the Charizard pose until way after. Like, I think I saw YouTubers do it, but throughout the entire game, I've never done that. I just missed out. But yeah, if you spin around long enough, you can get a fun color with this thing. I actually really like her design. She's just a sundae who doesn't know what to do in the world. She looks like she's aware that she may have been an accident, her birth. Alright, Phalanx. I like this guy. Or these guys. I don't even know how to say that. It's like Doug Trio. Like, is it them or is it one? But yeah, Phalanx is cool. I like ancient Greek culture, and the fact that this guy's like a Roman, or maybe he's a Spartan Phalanx. Like, now that I'm looking at him, I don't even know. But it's just a cool design in general. I kind of hope they make him evolve, because I kind of want to see what that ends up being. Pincurchin. I don't know. You tell me. This guy, I've seen this guy a few times. Is he a standalone evolution? I thought he evolves into that tent thing. Maybe that thing's on a Alolan. I don't know. Huh. Fun fact. But he actually, now that I'm seeing them together, he actually looks a lot like the next Pokemon, Snom. And I saw this thing a lot in... Oh, he's a sea urchin. Oh, I just got that. Oh, man, I'm so stupid. I'm slow is what I am. But yeah, anyway, going back to Snom, I see these guys a lot. They're in the Ice Town, and they're kind of fun. Oh, I didn't realize... Oh, you see, I'm learning a lot of things as I go through this list. But Snom evolves into Frostmoth, who's really cool looking. I thought he evolved into the thing that evolved into Avalugg, but I guess I'm very wrong on that. So, shame on me. But yeah, Frostmoth looks really cool. It's kind of like elegant looking. It's almost like Venomoth if Venomoth was like sleek. Does that make any sense? Stonjourner. I just love that there's a Stonehenge Pokemon. It's so appropriate too, because I think there's a bagpipe, like the bagpipes kick in at a certain, when you traverse the next zone of the wild area, and so it almost like feels like you're going from Britain to Ireland or Scotland or something like that. So I really like the fact that a Stonehenge Pokemon is like just hanging out here. Ice-Cube! I think is this thing shield only? Because I've never seen this thing before. It says it has 2 forms, so I'm gonna look that up real quick. Ice-Cube. Because it's only showing me one. I kind of want to see what its other form is. Oh, okay. Huh. It's weird. One form, the other form is like, it looks like an astronaut. But I like the Ice-Cube one. I like the one with the cube on his head. He like looks very misplaced. You know what? He looks like a penguin with a Pokemon face on his head. Like, it's kind of trippy to look at now because he looks like a real animal. That's funny. What if you can set that tip on fire? It looks like a candle or a bomb. Indeedy. Oh, I really want to see this thing's dex entry because I see this thing like as a servant, like not a servant, but like I see this thing working as like a waitress or yeah, as like an assistant in a lot of like places. So I'm sure it's like known as a helpful Pokemon. I like its design. Actually, no, I'm really curious about this one in particular. Let's look it up. Indeedy. Indeedy Pokedex. Is it fun watching me type around my microphone? You can see my pop filter, but there's a whole microphone I'm trying to negotiate space with. Indeedy. It uses the horn unsaid, sense the emotions of others. Males will act as valets for those they serve, looking after their every need. Huh. Oh, and in Shield it says, they diligently serve people and Pokemon, so they gather feelings of gratitude. The females are particularly good at babysitting. So yeah, it's a working Pokemon. That's fun. Yeah, because I see it as an NPC a lot. More Pico! I like this thing. Marnie has it. I like its other form too, because it just looks like a very angry thing. But I think it's known as like a bipolar sort of Pokemon, right? I think it goes through mood swings or something. Oh great, I opened up the can of worms, so now I'm gonna look at like all of their dex entries now, which is really unfortunate. Yeah, the one I found was in the Lake of Outrage or whatever. It was really funny just seeing all these dragons and stuff. Oh, it's Hangry! That's hilarious! It's called Hangry mode and Full Belly mode. That's so funny. Wait, I need to see this. As it eats the seed star... constant hunger. No matter how much it eats, it always gets hungry again. Intense hunger drives it to extremes of violence, and the electricity is converted to dark energy. Hunger hormones affect its temperament. It gets up all manner of evil deeds. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's funny. It's like a bipolar Pokemon. And it gets hangry. That's relatable. I get hangry. Shoutouts. Do you get? Shoutouts. Question of the day. Do you get hangry often? I do, especially when I'm in the mood for something. Qfant! I like this guy. He's cool design. I like his little orange look to him. He's got some green in there. And I know I've actually never seen one of these, except obviously at the beginning of the game, but in the wild, never. But in the wild, I have seen Caparajah. Wait, I think they spelled this wrong on this website I'm looking at. I think his name is Caparajah, because I think the one I have is... What do you call it? How do you say this? The one I have is... The one I have, I didn't change his name, basically, is what I'm saying. Caparajah. Yeah, it's Caparajah. Oh, the website got it wrong. I'm not gonna blow up the website spot, though. I promise. Yeah, he's really cool. I like his, like, you know, we've never seen a Pokemon, like, designed after, like, an Indian elephant, or, like, with this particular art style. And it's cool. I know for a fact that this one's Dex entry says that it comes from another region. So that's really interesting to me, that maybe we'll get another region already where these guys are more native to. Like, it's almost like insurance for the next Pokemon game to keep us curious about. But who knows where they came from. But I like how huge they are. And it's really cool. He's like made of copper. So he's green. Like, his evolved form is green, but his pre-evolved form is orange. Like, that's really cool. If you don't know, copper turns green the more it's exposed to air. Dracozolt. Whoa. Oh, yeah. I see this thing from time to time. It's weird. It's really weird. I'm guessing it's a fossil Pokemon, because... Oh, it says it right there. Okay, so he's an electric dragon. He looks like half of a freaking... He looks like a dragon got sliced in half, and they, like... The geneticist, like, made a horrible mistake, and he's got a little lizard poking out of him. So freaking weird. Arctozolt. Another fossil. Like, it looks like a different Pokemon. Dracovish. Water dragon. Yeah. And he looks like the other piece of that Pokemon. Like, it's so weird. They all look dismembered. It's so interesting to me. But he's really cool. And I think I've heard that Dracovish is actually, like, one of the most, like, broken things ever. Arctovish. He looks normal. That thing looks intact. So, I have nothing to say about that. He looks like he's not going like an abomination. No offense to Dracovish, Arctozolt, and Dracozolt. Oh, but it's cool how their names are. Because you got the Draco and the Vish. And they got the Zolt and the Arcto. Oh, I guess there's combinations that you can do, huh? I gotta look into restoring fossils in the game because I don't know about that. That's really interesting. Duraludon. I ran into one of these in the wild area, and he was not about getting captured. And I made the mistake and sent out a Golisopod, and he emergency exited the heck out of there when he got smacked. Damn you, Golisopod. I don't know if I'll find one of these again, but he's cool. I really like Duraludon. His Gigantamax form that Raihan has looks awesome. Also, is it Ryan? Ryan? Like... That's another question for you. I've always called him Raihan. Or Raihan, sometimes. Dreepy! I love this guy. I think he's the pseudo-legendary dragon. He's really fun. I've never seen a Dreepy in the wild. I'm sure I have, actually. I don't know. I don't recall. But I have seen Dracloak in the wild. I like how he's just got a Dreepy right on top of him. He's like a Kangaskhan. And a Dragon Ghost is just a cool typing. We don't see that very often. And Dragapult is he's a F-22 fighter jet that just shoots out Dreepies. That's badass. And he looks badass. Like, I think he's like actually a really tough quasi-legendary. He's like, you know, Dragonite, Hydreigon, Haxorus, you know, that kind of thing. know why. Salamence is the other one. I haven't seen Salamence in ages. What happened to that guy? Zacian! Of course, we love Zacian. That's the one I got, because I got Pokemon Sword. Freaking, I forget that move, but the steel move that it knows, Behemoth Blade. Looks amazing. Like, it's a really cool animation. Zamazenta! The other one, and I love how they go woo. He's cool. I don't know much about his moves. I didn't really give Hop much chance to let him shine because I knew I had to kill it. I needed to kill it fast. But I like his design a lot. Again, I like Zacian and Zamazenta. They have cool designs. They're like dogs, but you can tell like they would never get mixed up with like Entei, Suicune, and Raikou because they just have such a distinct look about them. But I'm always down for more legendary dogs. Eternatus or Eternatus. No, I don't think it's actually Eternatus. Like Eternatus is like the evil antagonist legendary of the game. So he's really interesting because he looks artificial, but just so much artificial stuff is based on the power he put out. So I think that's just like one of those weird things. Like if he was a Final Fantasy thing, I would call him like the Mako Dragon because his movesets are awesome. I think he just looks badass. He's really fun to look at, although his Gigantamax form looks like a frickin'... Or is it Eternamax in his case? I think it's Eternamax. Anyway, he looks like a frickin' radioactive funnel cake. That's what he is to me. That's what he always will be to me. A frickin' radioactive funnel cake with a creepy hand that will destroy everything and everything you hold dear. So, have fun with that. That's all of them. Who is your favorite one? If I had to pick a favorite, I don't even know, man. Like, I used Sirfetch'd, but I really like Flapple, and Dragapult is growing on me. I think I could have gotten a lot more mileage in my initial play if I was more open to using them. But again, I used Ninetales, I used several other... I think I used the Clefairy from time to time. I used the Galarian Linoon, and then it evolved into Obstagoon and stopped picking things up, which made me sad. But, you know... It's fun. I think they had some really cool Pokemon. I think Corviknight looks amazing. And now that I know what they all are, if I replayed the game, I think I know exactly what I'd go for. Like, Hatterene really grew on me. Like, I love so many of these Pokemon. Yeah, they're all really cool. And you could play around more with their Gigantamax forms and see which one of those you like, too. But I'm not going to talk about Gigantamax forms just because there's quite a few of them, and some of them have it, some of them don't. Like, it's a whole thing. But, Alcremie, yeah, he's fun too. I like a lot of these guys, actually, now that I'm going through it again. But yeah, let me know what your favorite was. I think a lot of people liked Grimmsnarl, because he's just kind of got that grungy look to him. But yeah, I'm curious, what did you like most about Generation 8? I liked a lot of the Pokemon, and I really loved the NPC characters too. So look out for more stuff, because I'm still kind of living into my rekindling of Poke-love, if that makes any sense. So as always, I have a Patreon if you want to consider donating and really support the channel. If not, feel free to also subscribe, and then just smack the bell so that you never miss a thing, because I got more coming. As always, this is Dave out. Peace out. Take care, guys.